the last chapter that concern heterologous expression of plant biosynthetic pathway, in particular in microbial platform. I will share this lecture also with Professor Smita that have also some very nice experience in an area I haven't. So it is a really complementary task. So what I want to discuss today and perhaps a little bit tomorrow with you is how we can manage this particular interesting domains to create new microbial that are completely genetically modified in order to express short or bigger metabolic pathway to produce plant molecules. The objective is to produce at least one molecule. It's not to make a complex extract. The objective is to biosynthesis, in fact, a natural product that is of a very high value for the market. Because you could imagine easily that this type of development costs a lot, take a lot of time, and need to be every time checked to be sure that all the things are correctly done by this microbial. So this is why it is quite interesting to see. There is lots of works that are currently done in laboratories, but effectively there is not so many success in industry at this moment. But I'm sure that in several years it will be most number of examples that could be transferred directly to the industrial level. So what I propose you is to see different general things concerning, in particular, biopharmaceutical and cosmetics. It is exactly the two domains in which this type of development has found some issue today. Okay, but we see something also in the food domain. So I will discuss this at the end. Okay, and after that, I have decided to illustrate this domain by at least 5 examples. And this one, it will be my last one. It will be also the conference I have to give in 2 days at here in a conference dedicated to biofactories. So I will share this with you in order for you to show what we are currently doing also in my lab on, obviously, alkaloids of Catharanthus roseus. Okay. So the idea of this domain that we call currently metabolic engineering is to take advantage of several properties of some unique cells, single cells that are anti-organisms. So means that they are able to do all the things necessary for cells to be alive, okay? And to take advantage of this type of cell to modify, in particular, their metabolism. Not the primary, but sometimes it is necessary also, okay? But obviously to add a new branch of their metabolisms. So this is why this concept have led to what we call a cell factory, because the idea is to use them as a way to produce, okay, one molecule as chemists do that in their tube, okay? This is exactly the same position. The most molecules that have been already targeted by this type of methodology are molecules called biopharmaceutical. What is a pharmaceutical and what is a biopharmaceutical? According to you, what will be the difference? Absolutely is this. It can be exactly the same molecule, depend of the way that this molecule is produced. Biopharmaceutical means that they are produced by bioorganisms. Okay, and pharmaceutical mainly come from chemist industry. So this is someone have been targeted, and you will see that it is not the more complex one that have been targeted, but the biopharmaceutical that are included in this type of strategy are the biopharmaceutical that are the bigger market, okay, over the world. So they are known also as biological medical products or biologics. You can also find both of these name in the literature. And they have obviously active pharmaceutical active pharmaceutical ingredients, and they can be produced by several type of organisms. Obviously plants, and mainly if they come from some specific metabolisms of plants, but then can be also produced by animals. There is also some example of production of some of these molecule in animals. I will not be able to explain this in this lecture because it will be too long. But you need to also have in mind that animals may be an organism such as a cow, such as a different type of other organism, but it can be also some cell lines, mammalian cell lines, insect cell lines can be also useful to produce specific biopharmaceutical, but mainly proteins instead of small molecules like secondary or specialized metabolites. For the plants, we can use several things, okay, and also obviously microorganisms. Plants, you have already seen what we can do at the level of one organism, but also at the level of one single cell. So you see, in fact, now we are able to take advantage of all the living organisms to develop some metabolic engineering. What happens also is that, and you will see that at least for one example or two, sometimes it's quite not necessary to go until the end of the biosynthesis of the specialized metabolite. Sometimes it is better to produce some precursors because it is easier to make the last step chemically, and obviously it is less expensive also to have both of these two combination. And this is why lots of time biologic is associated with some semi-synthesis step that could be done outside the organisms too. Okay. And okay, well, this is so the biological model is quite easy to understand. And the concept is quite easy to understand. So you have the cell factory, I name microbial, and the idea is to feed these cell factories with exogenous foods. Okay, it can be directly some foods that come from biomass, plant biomass, because the main sources we have to give them is carbon. So, or we gave them directly some plant biomass, or we can also give them precursors or directly sugar, depend of the type of molecule you want to produce, and also depend what is the system, the branch you have built inside the cells. So the major part of this work consists to introduce, okay, several genes. It can be one, but also it can be two, three, and more of genes, okay, in order to create a new branch, obviously, and also in order to boost, in fact, the natural metabolisms of the cells, in order to be not to be in competition with this new branch, with the natural branch pathway that occur normally in the cell. And after, there is another idea, is that you have introduced all the genes, so you are able to produce some specific products, but two situations could be taken count, or the product is sequestered inside the cells, means that after you have to find a way to disrupt all the cells in order to collect the molecule. Or sometimes what it is also interesting to do is to have the possibility to modify also your cells to have possibility excrete, okay, this the interested molecule from the cells to the medium culture. So this is the large view of what are the aims when we enter in this type of program to generate new cell line that will be able to produce exactly as the molecule you want. Alors, why it is interesting to extract the molecule from the cell to the culture medium, according to you? Why we are trying to find this way? Yes, because the purification become easier and it is also less expensive. And you have to always think that this process will be transferred at the industrial scale, means that you need to find the lower price, okay, to produce this type of molecule. And where I have here I have a line right that obviously you need to have the basic knowledge and concept of lots of type of discipline, not only biology, biotechnology, molecular biology, but also different other and process. Okay, you need to have a multidisciplinary knowledge, okay, of different things, and also bioprocess need also the contribution of other discipline to be efficient. So I will see you different example. Biopharmaceuticals, you see the global market of this type of molecule is really increasing from 10 years ago, because at the beginning there was not so many molecules that are produced by this way, but now we see a very big increase in this market. And do you have an idea of which are the most biopharmaceutical that are quite responsible of this important increase? What type of biopharmaceutical could be? What type of biopharmaceutical is main responsible of this increase? Exact. It's some proteins, and in particular monoclonal antibodies, because now there is a lot of new process to treat people for several diseases, using in particular some targeted point of the disease. And the only way we have to have a more precise action is the use of monoclonal antibodies. So now they have found a way to produce this monoclonal antibody in cells, in single cells, in particular in mammalian cells, or because there is a lots of necessity to modify and to organize. Okay, this antibody, it's quite complex, and bacteria is not even enough to do this. And in yeast, it starts to be possible, but not a complete one. So mainly it is some mammalian cells that are involved in this type of development. So there is also different other proteins that are produced by this way, particularly proteins including vaccines. So, and this is also considered as biopharmaceutical, and the way to produce them, for example, in yeast, it could be exactly the same as we use for producing some small molecules and or specialized metabolisms. So means that, in fact, what I will show you today concerning specifically some metabolite could be also applied easily to other type of biopharmaceutical, and mainly proteins that are obviously encoded, okay, by specific genes that need to be introduced in the cell. And you see here, it's we are right at this point, but we can continue, and it is not linear. What we observe now, it is like that. Okay, so it is a big market that could be very interesting to have in mind. Just some example of several biopharmaceutical. We have some natural products that could be produced by plants, microorganisms, and also fungi. There is also lots of biopharmaceuticals that are of interest that come from fungi. I will show you some example, but there is also lots of type of other molecules. I say to you monoclonal antibody, vaccine, but hormones, all the hormones needed for human health are now quite produced by this way. Growth factor, cytokines, and also some blood products are are currently do by this type of way. Here, for example, it's the number of antibodies that have been proposed to be produced by this way from 2000, and 2020. So you see, this is a big part of biopharmaceutical that increase a lot. For example, in Europe, I don't know what happens in over the world, but in Europe, at least 10 years ago, there was only less than 10 monoclonal antibodies that was on the market produced by this way. Actually, there is about 60 new antibodies that are currently under the clinical study, okay, and that could be produced in the next years to be sold on the market. So it is really a very important way. So what we call as natural product is usually restricted to pharmaceutical. This is why I have never used this terminology with you before. I called them specialized metabolite. But in case of biopharmaceutical, we call them natural products. Okay. And normally, these pharmaceuticals can be originally produced naturally by bacteria, plant, fungi, and algae. What it is important to know is that more than 70% of pharmaceutical use this type of natural product or their derivatives that can be also produced by a chemical way. Okay, so means that it is really the base of our pharmaceutical pharmacopy. And we accumulate, yes. So this is a problem when some of them are in a low concentration in the original organisms that are able to produce them. So this is why what we call now the synthetic biology that include metabolic engineering, but there is also different other application in synthetic biology. And 10 years ago, this type of new technology offer new opportunities to produce this type of molecules. And the concept of microbial cell factory was a concept that now have about 10 years. Okay. So just here to show you that we have focused our attention on natural products from plants, but there is also very interesting natural product that come from bacterial, for example. And in particular, there is two type of molecule. This is a polyketide, for example, that have a very antifungal and anti-parasite activity. So it's quite easy because at this step, the bacteria is already able to produce the molecule. So you have just to optimize the culture of this type of bacteria in order to produce the natural product you want. And this is also for the case for some peptides. Polyketide are some specialized metabolite, okay? And as it is right, peptide is a small protein, in particular what it is called NRPS. I don't remember exactly what is the signification of non-ribosomal peptide, but I don't know what S is. And they have a very high activity as antibiotic. And you know that it is very important to have every time some new antibiotics because we became slowly but surely resistant to some of them. So we need to have new propositions. So this is why there is a lots of interesting programs that aim to screen new bacteria that are discovered currently in order to see if they are able to produce some peptides that are quite similar to this one and that could have a possibility to have this antibiotic activity. But so it is a very important branch of biopharmaceuticals. This is the different repartition of the type of metabolite due to their chemical structure. There are, for example, lots of them come from terpene biosynthesis pathway. So it's quite interesting because means they have they have the common part of the metabolic pathway of terpene, leading at least to the first precursors in case of we want to use this flux to produce a specific terpenes or plant terpenes in microbial, for example. How this molecule, when they are being identified, are produced by pharmaceutical companies. So here are the workflow. Okay, so you may the first step is a screening. Okay, in order to identify the new antibiotic, for example, and by this way you may have a sort of proof of principal demonstration of the activity of this molecule. After that, you have to select the cells, or it can be the natural one, but sometimes it's not sufficient to have enough amount of this molecule in the original organisms, even if it is a microbe. Okay, so perhaps it is quite interesting to transfer the possibility of produce this particular metabolite, for example, in another host selected cells. That could be another microbial such as bacteria, but it can be also now an eukaryotic cells, okay, that could have a better efficiency to produce them. As you know, you need to understand how this component is synthesized inside the cell. So if it is a small molecule, you have to identify the pathway. Okay, and also you have to see in the host cell selected, which are the part of the pathway that it is naturally able to be functional in the cell, and what is a part of the pathway you have to add in order to have the complete sequence. We have seen yesterday, just at the end of my lecture, that at this moment you need to see how is the metabolic flux when you have had all these new genes in order to be sure to have the more efficient production. And also, as all the steps are catalyzed by specific enzymes, one of the best part of the programs is to find the enzyme that is optimized. Means that you know now for one activity you may have a lots of number of candidates that come from your organisms, but that come from also to other organisms. So you have to test if it is necessary to maintain the endogenous enzyme or to add an exogenous one that could be more interesting to have a better flux of the molecule, for example. So after you have to also optimize the process of the culture of the cells. For example, it is the identification of specific stimulus elicitors, okay, in order to improve their production, chemical, physical stress or biological stress. There is lots of type of action we can have on this type of microorganisms. What it is interesting is it is the workflow used for bacterial to produce several bacterial molecules, but it can be exactly the same scheme if you want to produce some plant molecule in bacteria. Okay, it's always the same. And after, okay, you generate by this way lots of data, always, omics, are also really interesting in this case. And you can, analyze statistically all of this data in order to have the best configuration for the culture of your bacteria. And after you have to scale up the production of your bacteria, means from the flask to little bioreactor to bigger and bigger and bigger bioreactor. What it is interesting with microbial such as bacteria is that we can have a very, very big volume of bioreactor, okay, that it is not quite possible, for example, with plant cells. Okay, and after, you have also to describe what it is not shown here, what we call the downstream process, mean that you have collected all or harvested all the bacteria. Now, what is the process of extraction and purification until homogeneity, okay, of your molecule? That could be different and is depending of the nature of the molecule. You have to establish several chromatography steps in order to purify them. And also after at each step, you have to implement some verification to be sure that you have already the good molecules. And also you have to see how you can reduce the loss of molecule during this process of purification. Okay. So it's also a big challenge to have not only the upstream, okay, process, but also the downstream to have a complete view of the production of your biopharmaceutical. And this is, for example, one type of industrial scale up from the beginning. I will let you to see exactly what happens. It's one example. It's not the only one. Depends really on the type of the metabolite or the molecule you want to produce. Depend also of the pharmaceutical industry, how they are able to develop as a structure to produce them. But they are obliged to have at least a laboratory to prepare what we call inoculum. Okay. So they need to have some flask side, okay, of production. And after, normally they have some different bigger, small bioreactor in order to have enough inoculum to implement a bigger bioreactor. You can imagine if you have a bioreactor of, I don't know, 100,000 liters, so it's quite big. The inoculum couldn't be only of some milliliters. Okay, you need to have at least some 10 or 100 liters. Okay, in order to be efficient for this inoculation. So means you need to have really a very important process to produce the last inoculum for the last step of the production of your microorganisms. Okay, and after here there is a little all what we call the downstream, when you have a harvest and you start to make some purification step where you have to select the solvent. And now we are in a green chemistry, okay, in sustainable system, and we are looking for some very safe solvent in order to have less pollution. So this is also a very big challenge, because depending on the type of molecule, it's not so easy to substitute organic solvents to other type of solvents. I will perhaps speak about this after. And also you have to manage also all what it is called effluent, because during this process you use a lot of water, a lot of solvent, and so you create a lot of effluent that are not needed for the final product. So you have to think how to recycle them, okay, or how to manage them in order to be not to generate too much. So this is a very important thing, and particularly with the water, you have to see how to use water, but in a good manner, in a virtuous manner, and it's always a very big challenge. How to manage also all the cell and debris, organic debris, because after having makes the purification, okay, it let lots of biomass. And when you have just 2 liters of bioreactors, biomass, it's quite nothing. but when you have a bigger bioreactor, you may have kilo and perhaps some tons, depend on how many cycle you are doing of this type of waste. So what do you do with this? Because it is a biomass. Okay. So how we can manage that? This is also very important question you have to ask, okay, when we want to develop a process at this large scale. I can give you what are all the solutions that people try to do, but for example, this biomass, if they come from yeast, for example, it can be used because it's a very carbon-rich biomass too, that can be used to feed the new, the next. Oh, sorry, I do too much. No, this one. Okay. There is possibility to recycle a part of this biomass as food for the new generation of the new step, okay, of production by this way or for another way, okay, another type of production. So it means that you have to ask yourself lots of questions instead of just creating, okay, the cells that will be able to produce the molecule you target. Concerning different fungal natural products, just for you to have an idea of which are these natural products that now are produced at a very large scale. Obviously, there is some antibiotics that are well known for us, penicillin and cephalosporin, for example. They are now produced at an industrial scale, obviously, by specifically cultivation of two types of fungi, Penicillium chrysogenum, for example, for the first one, but it is not the only one, but the major one that it's used. And for cephalosporin, this is sorry. Okay, Acremonium sp. This is one of the most fungi used to produce this particular antibiotic. But there is also lots of antifungal molecules that is very important for us because fungi are also a very big disease for human. So we always are looking for new antifungic molecule. And in fact, what it is funny is that it is in the kingdom of fungi that we can find the most efficient antifungi. It's quite normal because fungi are in competition for several things, for food, for area of expansion. So they need to fight together. And so they are able to produce a more efficient antifungi targeting specific family, okay, of fungi. This is why there are lots of screening program of fungi in order to find new molecules that could be interesting for antifungal activity. And two of this type of molecule have already been found to be very efficient. For example, griseofulvin and echinocandins, okay, that are, you see, not so simple molecules, but they can be very complex one. So it's quite impossible to imagine to produce them by a chemical way. It will be long and it will cost a lot. And sometimes it is quite impossible because we don't know how to do. So not all are produced by this way. So these fungi stay the only good source of production, and they can be managed as microbial cell factory in order to increase the possibility of production. And so there is lots of example. Here is the example of penicillin production, for example, that it is based on the fermentation process. So there is some specific bioreactor. In this condition, it is the original microorganism that it is used for the production, Penicillium chrysogenome. So the question was to adjust all the condition of the process, and mainly one, agitation, because we need to maintain in suspension these cells in order to improve production of penicillin. Here you see there is also the upstream between flask and 100,000 liters of bioreactor. It's quite important. And the production stage occur at the end of all this process. Here, here it's the illustration of what it is shown here. And it is not possible to forget also the downstream process. When you have create all the biomass with the antibiotic in the cell, you need to collect, to harvest all of these cells, and also to initiate the downstream purification process that can be different from one to another industry, depend of the process they have developed. Some of them are completely secret because they have not been patented, in order not to give to the other the process. It's a strategy, okay, intellectual property strategy of each company to patent or not, okay, different process. By this way, if they don't patent, they will be more protected, because before people find a way, it could be more time than if they have the patent, okay, to do. Even if they have to wait to use the patent 25 years at least, okay, but they can make some arrangement and they can patent it also after. So it's always a competition also for the company to protect all this process. And now this protection, intellectual property protection, occur also in the establishment of the cell, okay, that are modified. In this case, it is not, because they are natural, but you have also possibility to optimize the production of this penicillin in the original cells by making some genetic modification also of these cells. And this can be also patented, okay, for to protect the people that are able to produce this cell factory, in fact. I speak about this question of intellectual property because it is one of the main, okay, point for a company to introduce the company in the strategy of production of specific molecule by this way, okay. We discuss a lot with company when we work with them to establish new cell line, for example, on this type of level on intellectual property, and it can take a long time to be agreed together, laboratories and several other industry. If we need to share, okay, the program with several companies, so it is what we call a consortium, and to be already agreed, okay, of how we can share the intellectual property, it can take a long time. Okay, I think you know that also very well. Another example, the last one will be obviously the plant natural product. So my favorite one, now you know, Vinca alkaloids. Okay, so they are from monoterpene indole alkaloids family. We have already seen the main plants that have been used and that it is currently used for this production is Catharanthus roseus. Okay, and in particular, the 3 or 4 main alkaloids that are produced from the plant are vincristin and vinblastine, but there is also several other monoindole alkaloid derivatives that are also for big importance as biopharmaceutical. Vinerolbin, vindesine, and vimfluvine are also produced, okay? So they can be directly extracted. I will show you that after from the plant. And all of them have really powerful activity as anti-cancer. So they are using lots of chemotherapy medications for a very large set of disease, cancer disease, such as leukemia, lymphoma, and also solid tumors, the brains, lungs, and different parts. So they are very important. So the demands is quite important. Another type of natural products that are now considered as biopharmaceutical is Taxol. Okay, I don't want to say more because we have a nice explanation for several students here. So what it is interesting is that in fact it is not the same family, molecular family as vincristin is. In this case, it is a diterpenoids family. Okay, so they are also considered as a biopharmaceutical. There is also an example of lignan derivatives, in particular what it is called etoposide. Okay, it is one of the most important anti-cancer that it is currently used, in particular in different chemotherapies such as testicular, lung, lymphoma, leukemia, neuroblastoma, and ovarian cancer. So you see, it's very important, this type of molecule, because it can be used for several types of cancer. It's interesting, but it is also a limitation because it means that the demand is increasing a lot every year. And for example, it is one of the components that it is currently not available for treatment at a period of a year. So it's quite complex. Okay, and this lignan are produced by specifically a family of plants, Podophyllum. Cannabinoids also, as now becoming biopharmaceutical, means that they are produced by the process of engineering metabolite. In particular, all the molecules that are part of cannabinol, such as cannabidiol, but they are used in different cases. In case of patient may have some cancer, they don't act directly on the disease, but they can reduce a lot pains, okay, caused by the cancer disease. So they are now considered as sort of molecules that that are included in chemotherapies. So the demand is also increasing, but it needs to be controlled, okay, because you know that this molecule may have some secondary effects that can be completely independent of the cause of the pain disease. Okay. And artemisinin, obviously, is one of the most plant natural product that is considered as a biopharmaceutical. Okay, and we will have time to discuss a little bit of this molecule. Yes, just to see that artemisinin has been discovered by several scientists, and in particular, to Yu has awarded also a Nobel Prize, okay, for this particular molecule, because she was with two of her co-workers. They were able to show that it is a molecule that is very efficient against, in particular, malaria. So that was interesting also to know. It was a long time ago because I discovered that I think it was, yes, in 1972. Okay, they have published a lot of things at this moment, and the Nobel Prize was given at 2015. So quite 30 years after, means that at the beginning they didn't realize the importance of these molecules for this particular disease, for which we have no best molecule to act against it. So it is now of first importance to produce enough artemisinin, because over the world there is also lots of countries that are concerned by this diseases. Okay, so The question is, as it is considered as a biopharmaceutical, are these molecules are produced by pharmaceutical companies? Alors, I have written pharmaceutical companies, but can be quite wrong. Because in fact, what we have observed is that primarily it was not pharmaceutical company that have started to produce this molecule as biopharmaceutical. In fact, sometimes it is small companies such as startup, okay, that have found a way to produce in a microorganism one of these molecule, and they have started to establish a first workflow, okay, to produce this molecule, and after only some bigger companies can bought this startup in order to increase, okay, the level of production. And what we have observed this last 10 years ago, yes, it was about 10 or 15 years ago, is that some big pharmaceutical company that were only based on chemical production of these medicines have started to complement their way to produce pharmaceuticals by this new branch named biopharmaceutical. So that was really important because at this moment they gave lots of money, okay, for different programs in order to establish this new process of production for several different molecules. So means that now, yes, some of big pharmaceutical companies are able to produce biopharmaceutical, but it is quite recent. And they haven't completely stopped the classical way to produce pharmaceutical, because you have seen that not all of the pharmaceutical could be produced by this way, but they have diversified, in fact, the way to produce them, because they have found that this market could be also very interesting. Perhaps not at this moment. It starts to be efficient for one or a small part of biopharmaceutical, but we are sure that it could be a very nice market for this company in the future. You see, biotechnology is closely linked to business. So business is a real motor, okay, of how the strategy could be developed by the company to develop this or this type of process. In the lab, we are more idealist, okay. In the industry, they are more realist of the reality of business. I know that there is some people here that are working in company. I'm sure they will be agree with me for this point of view.